percussive tapping stuff, or butterfly tapping as some people refer to it. I've also had people ask me questions about chords, and like chord structures that I use, and how I go about finding them or playing them or whatever. So I'm going to put this video into one, so it'll probably end up being kind of long. But the way I figured I'll do it is I'll start off, I've got two examples I'm going to go about. Both are big tappy kind of riffs, and then I'll break them down, each chord that's going on, as well as what I'm doing with the right hand. See if I can play the first one, because I just wrote a little bit ago, so I don't know how smoothly this will come out. Something along those lines. The way I look at it, in terms of the 8 string, I try to look at it as a completely different instrument, not like a normal guitar. When it comes to doing bigger chords and stuff, it's easier to go about them looking at it that way. I do have some chords where I use it, and it's just based off the 8th string, a completely different chord shape than I'd use, or slightly modified from another one. The way this one's starting off, that first chord I'm hammering on is a C minor 7, which is just this form, which I play all the time. That's just straight, straight across the 8th fret, 8 on the E string, then 8 on D, G, B. What I'm doing is I'm dropping that E root down an octave. So you got, now on the right hand, a lot of this crazy tapping stuff, I'm doing either 3-note chords or double stops. For this one, and a lot of them I outline minor pentatonic scale, because it's really easy. So if you're looking at, in this case, it'd be G minor pentatonic scale. I just take like the top or bottom of it and use that for tapping the chords on the top. And almost just important as what you hit there is the chord you've got underneath it. Because if you just, that doesn't sound good, or if it's open a lot of times it won't be in key. So you got to make sure that this chord is underlying is held out pretty well. So you got, and all I'm doing there, that little pull off, I'm pulling off with all 3 fingers. I'm using these 3 when I do it. And then I'm doing the same idea where it's just straight across on 15. That chord is just the 15th fret on D, G, and B. The next part, that I'm doing 15 on A and D, or A and G. And the second time when I go around and do that little trill thing, it's up here again outlining the G minor pentatonic shape, but it's going to be a 17 on the D string and 18 on the B string. So you got on the left hand just that big minor 7 chord. You got, then it slides up to the next set of chords and stuff, which I go up to a E flat major 6th. And a lot of these chords, they're not something I came up with. It's stuff I got when I was starting to get into like jazz. They're basic movable chord shapes, like these 6s. They're gonna remove it. It's a 6th chord. That minor 7, I'm gonna remove it. It's a minor 7 chord. And I use these ones a lot, especially that major 6. I use it all the time. But then what I'm doing is I'm tapping that same idea, that chord, but I'm moving it the way I look at it as the other end of the G minor 7, or the G minor pentatonic scales. So now I'm hitting 17, 17, and 18 on D, G, and B. And I'm just kind of alternating this root note from the 11th fret on the E to the B to the F sharp note. F sharp string. And these chords, what I'll probably do is I'll have it set up like I had the other chord inversion video. Or if you guys want me to send you these chords, I'll write them all out and stuff. If you guys are interested and want a copy of these chords, as well as what I'm doing with this whole lesson, I can send that over to you. Just go like my Facebook page, which is at the beginning and it'll be at the end of this video as well. And then just message me and I'll gladly send it on over to you. I'm not greedy with any of my hack guitar playing. But, so we got that 6th chord. I'm doing that. Same thing, I'm hammering on at the same time. Those little trills on the D and B string. The first one's up here at the, what would that be, 20th fret? Yeah, 20. The other one at 15. And that last part is really a Josh Martin-y, if I can play it, kind of riff, which the next riff that I'm going to go through is very Josh Martin-esque. But all I'm doing is I've got a second inversion major 7 chord starting on the 8th fret there, so D, G, B, E string. You've just got 8, 8, 8, and then 10. Which is another one of my favorite chords. And a lot of the chord stuff, really, if you go to that chord inversion video that I did before, that's where I get a lot of my stuff from. Those chord shapes are used all the time in a lot of my music. So we've got that, and again we're going to follow the G minor pentatonic scale. So now we're doing it 2 notes at a time, starting off with fourths on the 18th fret. So we're going 18 down to 15. And this part's cool, you kind of slide it, you kind of bring it up till you kind of just wave off the fretboard. Gives it that like fluttery butterfly sound, which I love. Should be using that finger, my pinky's all messed up. And that thing again, you're just using the 2 little fingers. That slide up, sorry, was G and B on the 15th fret on your, right there. You just bring it off till you fly off the fretboard and it lands back onto that underlying chord. And then and again 15. And when it gets to this stuff, which the next one's going to have a lot more of the polyrhythm tapping stuff, really that's the way I look at it, is there's just rhythms. I'm playing, it's almost more of a drum beat than it is a musical, usable thing, but it sounds really cool. And I'm just keeping that 4th shape on the D and G string. So we're doing a 15, 17, and then 22. So that last riff. So that last one's weird, I'm not used to it yet. So hopefully that made sense to you. If you want to continue watching the video or you want to miss that one, it's up to you. But the next riff I'm going to go over is actually from that Strange and Delightful Turn of Events song. It's probably one of my favorite riffs I ever wrote. It's one of the first really butterfly tapping kind of riffs that I did write. I actually wrote this whole song just because I wanted to use this riff somewhere. But on the left hand I'm using pretty basic extended chords, like 7th chords, doing a major 7, a minor 7, and a dominant 7. And on the left hand the progression is going to go major 7, all on the roots on the 4th or on the 5th string or your A string. So it's going to be a D major 7. So the next one's going to be a minor 7, which would be starting on F sharp. It's going to be a 9, 11, 9, and 10. 7, then it's going to go up to a dominant 7, which is going to be on E, which is shape-wise just looks like two power chords next to each other. You've got a 7, 9, 7, 9, again starting on the A string. And then that next one is a major 7 starting on the D string, which is going to be an A major 7, so it's going to be 7, then 9, 9, 9. Now on the right hand, I'm doing the same kind of work I was doing with that first riff, except it's going to be down a fret. It's going to be based around F sharp minor pentatonic riff. What I'm doing, so I'm getting 14th fret straight across, D, G, B, and then the next one, it just alternates between these two. Then the next one, sorry, it's 16, 16, 17. And then when it goes up to this chord, I'm going to use that same shape as the first one, but move it over a set of strings. Now it's going to be on G, B, and E. And it's going to slide it up to the 21st fret to do that little thing. But that time you're going to skip out on that middle note, and you're just going to be doing on G and E. So the riff will be... I love that riff. That's a really happy riff, if you couldn't tell. Now, in terms of the actual technique, which is probably what a lot of people have questions about, it requires a good amount of finger strength in both hands. So you want to make sure you can play the chords with one hand on both hands. On the right hand, make sure it's going to come out really clear, but I look at them as like actual drum polyrhythms. So I'm doing, or I've got that little slide. So yeah. So you can even practice. I'm just looking at it as a polyrhythm between my two hands, just like a drummer would look at it. And honestly, it's just a lot of practice, starting it off really slow. But I mean, mess around with your own. Again, if you guys want any of this stuff, feel free to go on my Facebook and message me about it. I'll send you whatever. Like I said, I'm not greedy with all this stuff. It's something I really think a lot of people should, like, I think once people get the hang of it, it's one of the funnest techniques to do, because no one ever expects it. So I'm going to come up just... I look at it as kind of almost like the whole, like, thumping. We were kind of doing drums and guitar at the same time, because you've got your note definition. At the same time, you've got an extremely percussive idea. It's kind of like the opposite of that, the way I look at it, because you've still got this really percussive thing going on, but you've got these gorgeous chords. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. In terms of the chord thing, email me about that. I'll send you my chords, and if you have any questions, I'll gladly break them down for you, how I go piece by piece through the chords, what chords I use, why I use them, why I like those voicings. But yeah, I hope that helped.